Here is a question 32. Find inverse of a function which is a rational function. F of x equals to 2x minus 1 divided by 3x plus 5. Now how will you do such a question? So we'll follow our simple rules for inverse of a function, and that is, first we should write y for f of x and copy the function. So we say y equals to 2x minus 1 over 3x plus 5. And the next step is to swap x and y, right? So we'll do x and y swap. So then we write, instead of y, we write x, say x equals to 2y minus 1 over 3y plus 5, correct? And now next step is to solve for y. So to solve for y, let's cross multiply. So we get x times 3y plus 5 equals to 2y minus 1. And now we have to solve for y, correct? To solve for y, we'll bring, well, let's first open the bracket. So we have 3xy plus 5x equals to 2y minus 1, right? And let's solve for it here. So we have 3xy plus 5x equals to 2y minus 1. So let's bring the y terms together. It becomes 3xy minus 2y equals to, I'll take this on this side, minus 5x minus 1, correct? And now here we can take y common. We need to isolate y, that is the whole thing. So y equals to 3x minus 2, and this could be written as minus 5x minus 1. Now y is equal to minus 5x minus 1 over 3x minus 2. Do you get it? So now we have isolated y. And since we have isolated y, we can write this as inverse of this function. So we say f inverse of x is equal to minus 5x minus 1 over 3x minus 2, right? At times, you can also write this equation as, you can take minus common from here, right? You can write minus here, and then you can write 5x plus 1 over 3x minus 2, correct? So that becomes our answer as inverse function. Okay. Note one thing, that is, whenever you're given a function like this, you should always write your restrictions. And now restriction here is that x is not equal to minus 5 over 3, correct? Is that okay? So x is not equal to minus 5 over 3 in our domain, correct? Now, well, we are not asked for domain and range for this function, but as an exercise, can you find out what are the restrictions on the range in a rational function? So basically, what range cannot be? So you'll find that range y values cannot be 2 over 3, because there will be a horizontal asymptote at which will be, value of horizontal asymptote will be 2 over 3. So in the range, the restriction will be 2 over 3. Anyway, now the thing is, let's get back to this, and let me extend this question, and let me say find domain and range. Let me add this question here, right? Find domain and range of f of x. Okay, so domain is very clear that x is not equal to minus 5 over 3. Now for range, you will see if x is very, very large, let's say, if x is very large, let's say we are trying to find the horizontal asymptote. If x is very large, let's say plus infinity, in that case what happens? then this term 2 times large number will be very large as compared to minus 1, correct? So in that case our f of x will actually approach 2x over 3x. Or you can say it will approach 2 over 3. Is that okay? But it will never be 2 over 3. It will approach that value. Correct? So we say our horizontal asymptote is y equals to 2 over 3. Similarly, if x is very, very large, but a negative quantity in this case, correct? So our function may be negative, but then this value as such will be much, much higher than these numbers, 5 and 6. Let's say x is 1000. So this becomes, even if it is minus 1000, it becomes minus 3000 plus 5. So now that becomes very insignificant. And the numerator will be minus 2000, right? So basically the ratio will be 2 over 3. Whether you subtract 1 or add 5, it won't make much difference to the ratio 2 over 3. Do you understand? You get the point? So you're approaching 2 over 3. You're not quite there, but you're approaching 2 over 3. So y is never at 2 over 3. Therefore, for such a function, we can write that our range is, let me write that in a different ink. So we will have range is that y belongs to real numbers, but y is not equal to 2 over 3. Do you understand? Y is not equal to 2 over 3. Right? As you know, in inverse of a function, what happens? In inverse of a function, what happens? This is also a very critical point to understand here, and let me make a note here. So, inverse of a function, what do we see? We see that domain and range interchange, right? They swap. Is it okay? So if function, we have a restriction on domain that it is not equal to minus 5 over 3. So in inverse, we should have restriction on the range 5 over 3. Do you see that 5 over 3? Minus 5 over 3. Do you see that? So that is what I'm trying to highlight here. Now let's try to find restriction on, so let's find domain and range. Let's find domain of f inverse x. Now in f inverse x, what is happening? X cannot be equal to 2 over 3, right? We say, well, x belongs to real numbers, but here x is not equal to 2 over 3. So x is not equal to 2 over 3. Do you see that? For inverse function, if I write x equals to 2 over 3, I'll get 0 in the denominator. Do you see that? So that is a restriction, and it matches with our range in the original function. Do you see the restriction, how they swap? That is very important point to remember. And how about the range? Range of f inverse x. Now range also, you will notice, if x is very, very large, then 5x is very large as compared to 1, and 3x is very large as compared to minus 2. Therefore, our function will approach 5 over 3, negative value. So we have range where y belongs to real numbers, but y is not equal to negative 5 over 3. Do you see? This range is same as the domain of our main function. Do you see that? This range is same as the domain of our main function, correct? And our domain is same as the range of our main function. Do you see that part? So this is what I want you to understand when we find inverse of any function, then domain and range swap. Perfect? As in this case. Do you see that? Domain becomes range here, and the range becomes domain here. Do you see range? Connect. Do you see 2 over 3? This is about the function, this is about inverse of the function. So that is a way to understand or see your inverse and function. That is how they are also related. Okay, I hope you appreciate this point. Thank you.